This team now has two running backs. They had Chase Brown, who kind of had opportunity last in the second half of last season, showed some explosive plays. We saw that long 80-yard touchdown. Had some decent performances down the stretch as the number two running back. And he had a couple, he had a game that was almost 20 points. But Zach Moss is also there as well now. Zach Moss had a strong season with the Indianapolis Colts. So I like what Chase Brown brings as far as explosiveness, but it kind of feels like he's going to be in a shared backfield. Very similar to a Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine type backfield, right? And I think that's what this Bengals team wants. They want a little bit of fire and ice, a little bit of whatever odd combination, lightning and thunder, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? A nice balance attack when it comes to the run game. So they want to keep their bodies fresh. And Chase Brown offers a lot in the passing game too. So no more Joe Mixon there. I think it means more work for Chase Brown, but he's going to have to earn it. He didn't play consistently down the stretch. Like I said, had a couple big performances, but didn't play consistently down the stretch to earn, the lion's share of the rushing work. So when it comes to Chase Brown, I think that he'll be a good player. Somebody that's more, I think he's going to be more flex at best type thing during bye weeks. I think Zach Moss is going to end up being the running back to own. And Zach Moss last year, he played really well in the starting role for the Colts. And it's still going to be a 1A, 1B type thing. I think there'll be some weeks where we see Chase Brown better, some weeks where we see Zach Moss better. But I think Zach Moss is the safer of the two picks. It'll probably be an RB3 flex play at times throughout the year. He can handle 20 touches. He played well with that, right? And when he was in the starting role, he smashed a spot, right? It was when Jonathan Taylor came back and he had to go back to that reserve role. There was a couple weeks where he played well, but then he completely fell off because he wasn't getting the volume touches. So in a timeshare, he does have appeal, especially, last year, even with the way I'm talking about him, how he fell off, he still had over, 700 yards, almost 800 yards, 794 with 5 TDs, had a little bit of work in the passing game with, almost 200 yards in the passing game. So he finished as an RB3 last year. He was an RB31 or RB4 in your 10-team leagues, whatever you want to call it. He was an RB3-ish type play, and during the weeks when he was starting, he was more of like an RB2, high-end RB2 type play. So I think that he'll be in a timeshare. If something happens and there's an injury for one of the two, they would automatically vault up into like the RB2 conversation. But if we're seeing 15 to 20 touches out of Zach Moss, I feel very confident in his ability to return RB3 value throughout the season. So I wouldn't draft him as an RB3. I think you can get him better, like at a discount, maybe RB4 range. But we've talked about this on the channel before. A lot of times when there's two running backs in a split, one of them ends up outperforming their ADP. And I think we're going to see that out of Chase Brown or Zach Moss. Most pundits are probably going to say Zach Moss. I think Chase Brown offers higher upside. Zach Moss is the safer of the two. Okay.